Right now, you believe things with absolute certainty. You'd bet your life on them. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Your brain didn't choose those beliefs because they're true. It chose them because they helped your ancestors survive. And that changes everything. I'm Adam, and today we're diving into the neuroscience and psychology behind human belief. Why we believe what we believe, why we're so confident we're right, and why changing someone's mind is almost impossible. Let's start with fundamental fact. Your brain is not a truth-seeking machine. It's a survival machine. And there's a massive difference. Evolution didn't care if your ancestors understood quantum physics or had accurate beliefs about the universe. It cared if they survived long enough to reproduce. And here's the twist. Sometimes wrong beliefs were more useful than right ones. Imagine you're an early human. You hear rustling in the bushes. You have two options. Option 1 is assume it's just a wind and maybe get eaten by a lion. Option 2 is assume it's a predator and run away unnecessarily 1,000 times. The person who assumed predators everywhere, they survived. The skeptic, they became lunch. This is called hyperactive agency detection. Our brains evolved to see patterns, intentions, and threats everywhere, even when they don't exist. Psychologist Bruce Hood at the University of Bristol demonstrated this beautifully. Even rational, educated adults showed superstitious behavior when asked to wear a sweater that supposedly belonged to a serial killer. Our emotional brain overrides logic. This is your first clue. Beliefs aren't about truth. They're about survival, comfort, and social cohesion. But why do beliefs feel so true? Why are you so certain you're right? The answer is dopamine, your brain's reward chemical. When you encounter information that confirms what you already believe, your brain releases dopamine. It literally feels good to be right. Studies using fMRI scans show that when people hear opinions they agree with, the same reward centers light up as when they eat chocolate or win money. But here's the dark side. When you encounter information that contradicts your beliefs, your amygdala, the fear center, activates. Your brain treats contradictory information as a threat. Neuroscientist Jonas Kaplan at USC conducted a landmark study in 2016. He put people in brain scanners and challenged their deeply held beliefs. The results? The brain regions associated with identity and emotion lit up like fireworks, while the regions associated with logic barely responded. Your brain doesn't evaluate beliefs like a scientist. It defends them like a lawyer defending a client. This is called motivated reasoning. We don't form beliefs by examining evidence. We start with a conclusion we want, then work backwards to justify it. And social media? It's dopamine slot machines. Every like, share, and comment from your in-group floods your brain with reward chemicals. You're not engaging with ideas. You're getting high on validation. Here's where it gets really interesting. Humans didn't evolve to believe true things. We evolved to believe the same things as our tribe. For 99% of human history, being rejected by your group meant death. No protection from predators, no access to food, no mating opportunities. So our brains developed an obsession with social conformity. The classic Solomon-Asch conformity experiments in the 1950s proved this brutally. People would deny the evidence of their own eyes, saying a shorter line was longer, just to fit in with the group. 1/3 of participants conformed to the obviously wrong answer. But it gets worse. Modern neuroscience shows that social rejection activates the same brain regions as physical pain. Being excluded from your belief tribe literally hurts. This explains political polarization perfectly. Yale researcher Dan Kahan discovered something shocking. More education doesn't reduce polarization. It increases it. Why? Because smarter people are better at motivated reasoning. They're better at finding sophisticated justifications for what their tribe already believes. Intelligence doesn't make you more objective. It makes you better at defending your biases, your political beliefs, your religious beliefs, even your beliefs about diet and health. They're not conclusions you reach through careful analysis. They're membership cards to your tribe. And your brain will torture logic to keep that membership active. So what happens when you try to change someone's mind with facts? Usually, they believe their wrong idea even more strongly. This is called the backfire effect. Brendan Nyhan and Jason Reifler discovered that when people are shown facts that contradict their beliefs, they often double down. Show anti-vaccine parents scientific evidence that vaccines are safe, they become more anti-vaccine. Why? Because facts threaten identity. When you challenge someone's belief, their brain doesn't hear. Here's some information. It hears, you're stupid, your tribe is wrong, and you need to leave your community. Their amygdala fires up. Cortisol, stress hormone, floods their system. The prefrontal cortex, the rational part, shuts down. They're literally in fight or flight mode. This is why arguing on Facebook is useless. You're not having a rational discussion. You're triggering biological threat responses. Every fact you present makes them clutch their belief tighter. So beliefs aren't about evidence. They're about identity, tribe, emotion, and survival instincts that evolved over millions of years. Here's the hopeful part. We can change our minds, but it almost never happens through argumentation. Research shows minds change through direct contact with people from different tribes breaks down barriers. It's hard to hate someone you know personally. Studies on prejudice reduction consistently show that genuine relationships are more powerful than any argument. People change their minds when their tribe changes collectively, or when they find a new tribe. Very rarely do individuals update beliefs in isolation. Psychologist Peter Boghossian suggests asking, what would change your mind? This forces metacognition, thinking about thinking, without triggering defensiveness. The most powerful tool is admitting you might be wrong. Studies by Mark Leary show that people high in intellectual humility, the recognition that their beliefs might be mistaken, are better learners, better problem solvers, and more open to evidence. This is why science works. Not because scientists are more rational, they're not, but because the system forces them to challenge each other, replicate findings, and update beliefs based on evidence. So, what do we do with this knowledge? First, practice epistemic humility. Hold your beliefs lightly. Ask yourself, what would I need to see to change my mind about this? Second, understand the other side isn't stupid. They're running the same survival software you are. Their beliefs make perfect sense within their information environment and tribal context. Third, seek out disconfirming evidence. Deliberately expose yourself to smart people who disagree with you, not to argue, to understand. And finally, be patient with yourself and others. Changing deeply held beliefs is like asking someone to switch families. It's not about intelligence. It's about identity, emotion, and biology. You believe what you believe because your brain is doing exactly what evolution designed it to do. Keep you alive, keep you connected to your tribe, and make you feel certain in an uncertain world. The question is, now that you know this, what will you do differently? Let me know in the comments. What's one belief you use to hold with certainty that you've changed? How did it happen? And more importantly, what belief are you holding right now that you might be wrong about? If this video made you question anything, even slightly, hit that like button. Subscribe for more deep dives into psychology, neuroscience, and what makes us human. I'll see you in the next one.